Lights dim, it's game time. Interview sharp, cut through like a shank line.
All right, Stick Lounge. We're on Facebook, Stick Lounge. We're on Instagram at Stick_Lounge. YouTube at Stick_Lounge_podcast. TikTok at Stick.Lounge.podcast. Email sticklounge@DAT@creolesoul.com. You guys want to use the Stick Lounge podcast studio? Hit us up. We got everything set up. We'll set you up, create some content. You want to use the Stick Lounge itself? Hell yeah, you do. We got a full PA system set up for 4 mics. We've got 70-inch TV. We've got darts. We've got cards. We've got chess. We've got, I think we got Uno. We got everything, guys. Hit us up. You want to do private party karaoke? You want to watch a movie with your friends? You want to have a birthday party? That's what it's here for. Des Moines, Washington, right off Marine View Drive, right above Creole Soul. Thanks for listening. All right, that's the new intro. What do you think?
Hey, let's roll with it. I like that. We don't have to keep trying to figure out, okay, yeah, this, and this, and then underscore this. So you got it all in the media. So I
got tired of trying to figure it out and read it and dot and underscore and hashtag and email and
right, yeah, that gets
just make it a little easier on us.
For there, So.
Sounds good.
Yeah, thank you very much. All right, Hamp, what you got going on in Creole, man? What's been up?
Well, we've been busy at Creole Soul with live music. Trying to wake up the city of Des Moines here, and with some. This alley is kind of dark and gloomy, so I want to.
And it's under construction right now.
Yeah, I mean, really into some construction. But past few weeks we had live music, great turnout. So I was surprised to see the turnout that we had with live music. If that's all it have taken, I could have did this 2-3 years ago, but I had to sleep on it and figure it out. Bought food, bought hospitality, didn't bring the live music, so now it's here. So you get all 3 trifecta: hospitality, music, and good food. So, yeah. So anyway, come check us out. Look up the calendar, look on the website, see where we're at. March 15th, we got another live act coming at you. So stay tuned.
Yeah.
Right?
And we talked about it a couple times, but did some work on the interior. We got the stage. We got some new lights. We got we got all kinds of stuff. Looking at PA system and some other things going on. So
yeah. I'm looking forward to having what's that word I'm looking for?
Like open mic?
Open mic. That's it. Open mic. Yeah.
I'm going to get it set up so we can just do some open mic stuff and maybe some dueling piano we were talking about.
Yeah, some dueling piano.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, for sure.
That'd be fun.
That sounds very Louisiana, right?
So why don't you just go ahead and introduce our guests today?
Yes, I will. Real quick, March 8th, Stick Lounge wine tasting.
I'll be here.
Yes, Brown Family Winery is coming in. So wanted to get that out. Other than that, Tammy Williams, thank you for being here.
And I want to say the bourbon tasting for anybody who missed the whiskey bourbon tasting. You don't want to miss the wine tasting, because if it was even half as fun as that was, it's going to be a blast.
Well, I'm glad you had a good time.
A blast.
And I didn't want to cut you off, but I
lot.
wanted to do Tammy Williams. Thank you for joining us today.
All my biased friends.
So you and I, you are married to a guy I work with, and we hadn't really met that much. You came to I've seen you at the company dinners and stuff. Came to the whiskey tasting. I knew a little bit about you, but we started talking. And what would you call yourself? You're in the fitness space, but
well, I'm actually. My nickname is Healer. Believe it or not, like most of my clients call me Healer, which.
Is it fitting?
It does. It puts a little bit of pressure on me, but
sure.
I want it to go into my brain the way of rising up and using all these certifications and everything that I've learned to make an impact.
Okay, yeah.
To help in any way that I can. So, yes, I'm a medical massage therapist. I've been in my practice for 25 years now. I think it's this year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I've been in the medical field for even longer, over 30 years. My background, I worked at Minor and James in the radiology department.
Okay.
So people would come in and get diagnosed, and then they would leave, and I would go, I wonder what they're going to do now.
Right.
So then,
you've got your information, now you're out the door, go figure it out. Kind of thing.
I have to call people back to tell them to come in for, more pictures or extensive diagnostic imaging, and then they leave crying. And I was just like, I want to be a part of that. I don't want to be a part of the diagnostic part.
You're giving them bad news. You want to help them out afterwards.
Yeah, what happens to them? What happened? So then I left there and I went into the oncology field. I also became a phlebotomist.
Okay.
So I used to draw blood for diagnostic. And then, working in the cancer field, I went more into that naturopathic of how do we use traditional medicine with conjunctive medicine. Like, how do we balance out science and nature, right? Because they go together. I think they do.
Well, and I've always thought, and I could be completely wrong, but, you know, you look at medications, right? I mean, they had to start somewhere. They're coming from, you know, the earth, right? They're coming from berries, from roots, from whatever. I mean, a lot of it is synthetic now, but everything has to start somewhere, right?
Time and a place for everything. I mean, if you need your tonsils out, you don't want to be awake.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Right?
For sure. Yeah.
I just want some ice cream at the end.
You know, nobody wants to be awake during their colonoscopy or getting a mole removed. You want pain relief or seriously.
Yeah, no,
there's a time and a place. Like people say, I would never use medication. I don't like to take pills.
Yeah.
But if I needed my appendix out, I surely wouldn't want to be awake.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And I would definitely want some form of pain relief or medication afterwards for sure.
Yeah.
And some form of therapy. So after that, after being in the cancer field, then I saw the treatment. And then I was like, well, why do two people have the same condition?
Right.
And they did the same things. And this person lived and this one didn't. Things that make you go, right?
Right. Yeah.
Like, why does this person have 6 cancer metastases all over their body? And this person had pancreatic cancer that they weren't supposed to die from. They died. And the other person lived. Like, what else did they do? You know, because on that little form, when they say other things, nobody writes anything. I know because I have my massage practice and people come in and I give them an intake form. And then I sit down with them and I say, okay, in the past 5 years, have you had this, and this? Oh, yeah. I had bilateral, you know, a breast mastectomy and I got 2 breast implants. And I'm like, you left the cancer part in. Oh, I forgot about that.
Right.
You had cancer in both your breasts. They cut them off and put a new set on and you forgot?
Right.
You don't forget about that word.
You'd think.
No.
But they don't because it's in the past. They've moved on.
And maybe they're
like,
trying
I don't
not to think about it again.
Or they just don't.
Yeah.
They're like, I dealt with it then. I don't want to talk about it because it's in my past. And so I don't think of myself as a cancer survivor. It's interesting how people process things.
Sure.
So on these intake forms, I'm like, what else are they doing? So it also got me looking at my own health. And so I want to put out in my credentialing here that, yes, I am a licensed medical massage therapist, an LMP in the state of Washington.
Okay.
I help.
And you're busy as far as I understand, right?
I am so busy. In fact, if you're listening, I'm not able to take you as a client. So please do not look
I know
for
when
me
we
on
talked
Yelp.
to- yeah,
Do
when-
not find me on Venmo.
When we talked about it, I was like, we're trying to highlight local businesses, and you're like, I don't need any.
No, I'm here in a loving, I don't want to say godly, but my heart is in the right place. I'm hoping that I'm going to read this. My passion in life is to empower people to help them take control of their health.
Nice.
And if you listen to that, I'm here to help you, but you have to do it.
Yeah.
You know, I want to provide information on how their nutrition, their exercise, their lifestyle. You didn't get sick
Right.
by accident. And I was talking to my girlfriend about this today, and it's like, she's like, are you excited? And I'm like,
About coming on here?
it's a mixed bag, you know, because it's about taking responsibility.
Sure. Yeah.
And people say, oh, it's my genetics, epigenetics, baby. 25% of your genetics. You're not going to die just because somebody in your family has something. And people are going to get angry and they're going to say, Tammy, you don't understand. And I'm going to say, but I do this for a living. And not only do I do this for a living, I see this. So when I share these things, they're not just things that I've read in a book. I put them to use. I see people heal from things that doctors go, you're never going to heal. Maybe.
Right.
But what happens if he's wrong?
Yeah, and why not try, right? Every
What
option
do you have
have.
to lose? You're going to die anyway. We just don't know if it's going to be tomorrow or in 60 years. You're going to die. You're going to die. I'm going to die. We don't know when.
Yeah.
But I want people to take, it's one of the things that I said to my girlfriend. She said, you know, are you nervous? And I'm like, it's not that I'm nervous. It's just we live in a society, and this has nothing to do with politics. This has to do with the medical field, my field.
Yeah.
Where nobody wants to hurt anybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I have clients that come in that are like 300 pounds and they're like, I went to the podiatrist and my feet are sore and he sold me shoes and then I went to this and PT and blah, blah. Honey, girlfriend.
Yeah.
You are 300 pounds.
Right.
I can jump on your back, run around the block, see if your knees and feet hurt. You're a big girl.
Sure.
And then she cried. And I'm like, so, people say, do you make people mad? And I'm like, no, but I tend to make people cry a lot.
make them sad. Make them probably confront certain things. We have to
take responsibility for our choices. It's not a shaming thing.
Right.
We have to say that where we are right now is due to our choices, good, bad, or other.
Yeah.
And I don't judge people, not even myself.
Mm-hmm.
I want to think that we're all doing the best that we can based on what we know right now.
Sure.
But today you could learn more.
Yeah. No, and that's
And so-
one reason why I wanted to have this conversation, because I'm always on that journey
Yes.
too. I'm a big guy. I've always been a big guy. And we talked about that a little bit. Like, I try to eat very well. I don't do fast food. If I do, I told you I go get a sandwich at Subway or a wrap even. I try to do a wrap.
Yep.
But unless I'm working out 2 hours a day, like I kind of plateau and I stay in this range, and it's
We're gonna
a
talk about
constant
that.
battle. And I don't know about you, Hamp. I mean, you're a big dude too. Like,
Yeah, well, I don't know how it's happening, but I was at 366. I went to the doctor about probably 3-4 months ago.
yeah, I remember
It
that.
was 366. Now I'm at 308. Which and I watch when I'm eating. I'm not exercising, but I'm busy on the food truck. So I'm constantly moving. And when
That's
you're moving,
we're going to share that.
when
Yeah.
you're constantly moving, you're going to lose weight, whether you're moving, walking, dancing, whatever. But you're burning those calories.
Burning the calories, yeah.
So that's me. I'm busy. So
Yeah.
then I barely have time to eat something. And if I do, it's just a bite to kind of satisfy me, and then I just constantly going.
And then go.
Yeah.
It's true. So I'm a massage therapist. I'm also a personal trainer. I have a certification for that.
Okay.
I'm an ex-bodybuilder, so a lot of the things that I've talked about, I've put to use.
Nice. Now in bodybuilding, just real quick, what did you use like to trim, to cut? I mean, I grew up playing sports and stuff. I mean, like Hamp was what would you call yourself? Pro? I mean, it was pro, right?
Yeah, pro basketball player.
Pro,
yeah.
a world league that he played in years. But I mean, for me, it was high school football, high school weightlifting, high school wrestling. I was doing creatine. I was doing
Oh, I know.
phosphagen. I
I'm
was
telling
doing
you.
protein. I was
know.
doing,
I did everything wrong.
okay.
I did everything wrong. Trust me, I didn't get sick by accident. I got
Yeah.
sick based on the fact that I didn't really know what I was doing. And not only that, these things had a long-term effect.
That's the
And
thing
you
that
and I were
concerns
talking
me.
about
Yeah.
proteins, and there's so many things that just starting off so that we can get clear, but I did everything wrong. But you look at now, like I talk about the quality of our food, plastics, artificial sweeteners,
Yep.
myths. This diet, that diet, we don't get enough protein. Oh my gosh, I used to just eat chicken all day long and
Yeah.
eggs, chicken and eggs.
Well, you and I were-
body fat, no dairy, like being weighed in, constantly
Oh, yeah.
measuring this, because I'm going to be seen in the teeny tiniest little bathing suit you've ever seen on a
Right.
big stage in front of a whole bunch of people who are specifically
There to judge
going
me.
to judge me.
Exactly.
And so we didn't know what we didn't know then.
Mm-hmm.
Back then they were saying, well, I'm 56. So back when I was coming up through the ranks, I started pre-bodybuilding. I started to really start lifting weights around 16, 18.
Right.
I met my first husband at 19. He was 27, in the military, into martial arts. I mean, we just hammered it. We would go to the gym every day for hours
Yeah.
and just thrived on lifting weights and being big and putting on muscle mass. And if
My
we
youngest
weren't-
daughter's into that right now. Her
Then
and her
we were
boyfriend are at the gym all the time.
range. It was just like, that was our life of
Yeah.
just living. It was like Arnold, Encyclopedia of Bodybuilding, like Arnold. Like
Yeah.
we did everything he did. It was our Bible.
Hmm.
And so that had a long-term effect on me. It took years later. By the time I hit my 30s, things weren't going well.
In what way exactly?
It started out with some food sensitivities,
Okay.
subtle stuff like sleep, harder to fall asleep,
Right.
waking up still tired, you want to hit the snooze alarm. I call it now the functionally ill.
Okay.
We all feel like crap, but there's nothing wrong with us. You get tested and, I had barium swallows and barium enemas and scans and blood work, and I went to naturopaths and they tested me, pages of Here, you know, you have sensitive to this, sensitive to that, sensitive. Like, why am I sensitive to all these things?
Right.
You know, how do you get a sensitive to asparagus? You know, like, what is asparagus? So it's just, I try to tell people based on my experience from that, when you're inflamed, you're just inflamed to everything. You may not particularly be allergic to potatoes. It's just right now, everything's bothers you because of your gut. Like you just, and that was one of the things when I started talking about, you know,
so when
our
you
food,
when you started taking this position that you're in now, I mean, how deep did you have to dive and do your own research? Did you take classes? I mean, it sounds to me like you've got a very good medical background, obviously, but this is kind of separate from that, right?
This was talking to people like, you know, I want to see the science and I want to go, you know, hey, you should eat at the restaurant downstairs. Great. Have you eaten there? I did. And it was amazing. And this is what I ordered. And this is what the service was like.
Yeah.
And this is where the parking is. Okay, I can get on board with that.
Right.
That's what I want to know. Just because your second cousin twice removed got healed from castor oil packs. I want, you know, I want to know more than that.
Right.
So I started looking at the science. I started looking at, first, what happened to me?
Right.
What happened to me? What did I do? You know, why do I have something that nobody in my family has? And yet I'm healthier than they are. But I was also looking at how I was living now. I wasn't looking at the past.
Okay.
So I started looking at things like all the supplements I
Right.
used to take.
Right. Yeah.
I used to take a lot of supplements. I'm telling you, pills, bodybuilding pills, weightlifting pills, you know, vitamin this, vitamin that. And again, I want to start with, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nurse, and I'm definitely not a nutritionist.
Okay.
I'm a girl who did everything wrong
Right.
and had to figure out how to get healthy.
And then you've taken that and you've helped people since then with the same strategy.
That's why I don't usually do podcasts. I just go out and I live my life. And when people come up to me and they say, how are you doing? And I always say, how are you today? And people go, And I always say, why are you not great?
Yeah.
Why are you not great?
Right.
Oh, I feel like crap, or I'm sleeping terribly, or I'm addicted to sugar, or, you know, I'm a recovering alcoholic, or I've got, you know, all these, we're just working on so much, all of us. There's so much going on.
There's a lot of vices out there, and they're easy to pick up.
So
Everything from, like you said, sugar to alcohol, you know,
and it's
and
slow.
more.
Like none of us woke up with these cravings or dependencies or sensitivities or challenges. They all came along, and I started looking at like all the different things like preservatives and food colorings and fertilizers. You know, I looked at milk, and I was like, when I really looked at the
you and I were
research on
talking about
milk,
that. That's crazy.
it had pus, jet fuel, fertilizers. I'm like, what?
Vitamin D?
Pardon me?
Vitamin D milk?
Just milk.
Just regular-
comes out
regular
of a
milk.
cow's breast. It doesn't make a difference if it's whole, organic from your
I'm about
backyard.
to stop drinking milk.
Well, here's the
Well,
thing, dude.
I'm
I've worked at a lot of dairies.
Well-
And when she told me that, I'm like, it makes sense. Like, I've worked at the old school dairies. And by this sense, I mean, I grew up in a town where we had a lot of dairies, right? We had
Yeah.
alfalfa fields, dairies. And I've seen the old school way of doing it. The cows would bleed.
So this is
I mean,
before
they-
pasteurization.
This
I
has nothing to do
don't
with
think it has anything to do with
pasteurization.
it.
This has to do
No.
with the runoff in our water and how we feed our animals and how we feed ourselves.
Yeah.
We're all trying. Like, this isn't a bashing, shaming thing. We're all trying, but sometimes we don't know what we don't know, and what we don't know can hurt us. And sometimes knowing something
Yeah.
can start, for me, a direction in a new way. And that's why I chose to come here today, because sometimes you get one little golden nugget and you go online and you look at it. And I'm partnered with a Juice Plus company.
Yes.
I want to put that out there. I started eating Juice Plus in 1997. I heard about it from a doctor that was taking it for his kids. He goes, they're fussy. They don't eat fruits and vegetables. And I used to go, I don't really eat a ton of them either. I mean, I don't dislike them. I just...
It wasn't a priority.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on the go. I was young, right?
Yeah.
Whatever. So through them and meeting a lot of doctors and looking at research, it has really opened up the door to, oh, I didn't know that.
Not getting all the nutrients we need. And
Not getting all the nutrients, and really seeing like that eye-opening experience of like, wow, my diet and my lifestyle and my environment is could be impacting my health?
Yeah.
No. Hey, not that much.
Right.
Call me naive, but I really was like, there's nothing wrong with me. I'm fine.
Yeah.
And then you look through a checklist and it's like, well, I don't go to the bathroom regularly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm dehydrated. My iron is low.
Yeah.
I'm not sleeping well. I have joint pain. My skin is bad.
Mm-hmm.
My hair is dry. You start looking at all these little teeny tiny little things.
Right.
And you go,
Well, and you start
that
thinking
be my
like,
diet?
from what I understand is like the food that we get now isn't even as nutritional as it should be. Like it's lost nutrition over the years, is what I've heard.
It is true, but there's so many. You could just that's Pandora's box. It's
Right.
The water's dirtier, the soil is depleted.
The air's dirtier.
Where are they getting their seeds from?
Yeah, I'm drinking water out of this plastic bottle. That's probably not great.
But look at it in moderation. You could be drinking pop. Mm-hmm. So that's way better,
Yeah,
right?
I don't like that much.
So we look at where did they get their seeds? Did they pick it in Chile a month before it was actually ripe? Did it ripen on the truck?
Right.
Did it get picked ripe, but then it got put in cold storage? Like the apples that you're eating now are from September.
Right.
And know that apples don't get picked till September.
Mm-hmm.
So between now and May and June and July, we're still eating the same apples that were picked last September that have been kept in cold storage. And same with our onions and cauliflower. And unless it comes from a hothouse, it's a year old.
Yeah.
So the question is if it was picked before it was ripe, we don't know about the seed. We don't know about the water. We don't know if they put steer manure on it or chicken poop or if it was grown down the street from Hanford or I don't know.
Yeah, well, and also like the pesticides, those scare the hell out of me.
Absolutely. And the runoff, what happens if there's a cattle and you've got steer manure and growth hormones? And so I tell people, don't open, Pandora's box.
Yeah.
Go to the grocery store, load your cart up with as many fruits and vegetables as you can. Hit the frozen food aisle. I always have bags of mixed frozen vegetables at my house because I throw them in things. They bulk up.
Yeah.
Soups and stews and stir fries. And then complement your meals with the things that you like. Nuts, seeds, hummus, salsa, all the things that you and I were talking about, spices and curry, like the beautiful restaurant downstairs. What makes the food so delicious?
Yeah.
One, it's cooked with
Slap
love.
your mama.
And two, it's the spices.
Yeah.
It's the combination of spices and herbs, and that brings your food alive. It makes healthy food like rice and vegetables taste amazing.
Yeah, I agree.
So my health journey started with, could it have been me?
Right.
So
That
you
made me sick?
mentioned when did you figure that you went wrong?
It was way later. In the beginning, it was just, what is one thing that I could do that I could feel better today? What is one thing that maybe, and I'm not a big on giving up stuff. There's a group of foods that I try really hard to not eat from.
What group?
I call them the naughty group. They're things like chocolate cake and
Okay. It's not just like carbs,
donuts.
but it's like just
no,
I got
no,
you.
no.
I got you.
There's a time for chips and salsa, and there's a time for chips and getting together with your friends and having fun. And
Right.
if the majority of the things, I live by very basic, if you can pick it and kill it and it rots, eat it.
Right. Makes sense.
And then packaged food like rice and quinoa and ancient grains, let that fill in, the fruits and vegetables. Add a little bit of meat if you like, or eggs, or tofu or nuts and seeds or hummus. Don't focus so much on serving sizes or proteins and fats and carbohydrates. Focus on variety and taste.
Yeah.
Taste is very, very important.
Taste and colors.
Yeah, lots of colors. I've
Add
heard
color.
colors. Yeah,
Make-
lots of colors.
Make your meals fun. Make them something that you look forward to, even if it's just hard-boiled egg.
Yeah.
With lots of black pepper.
Yeah.
Or
Do you like lots of black
paprika, or chili powder.
I like
or
pickled
cayenne
eggs
pepper,
even.
or salsa.
Yeah.
Don't worry too much about calories, because if you're eating healthy, your brain needs so many calories. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What are the biggest things that are going on right now? Mental health.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Mood.
Yeah.
I wrote down all the things that are going on right
Yeah,
now.
use your notes. I know we're kind of going on a tangent. So
No, this is all part of it.
Yeah.
These are the things that we're having problems with. Energy, memory, attention, being able to concentrate, brain fog, sleep, brain health, mood, hormones, mental health, seasonal disorders, anxiety, ADHD, panic attacks. These are kids too.
Yeah.
Social anxieties, being obsessive about things, being compulsive, depression, PTSD,
Yeah.
eating disorders, not being able to focus, our blood chemistries, metabolic syndromes, type 2 diabetes, diseases. How do they form? How do we reverse them? How do we prevent them? Weight.
Big one.
Some people are super underweight
Yeah.
and malnutritioned, and some people, have excess. And I've been on both sides of that. I've been overweight and underweight. Exercise. Well, you're supposed to exercise this much, and you're supposed to do this, and you're supposed to do that. Well, exercise is way easier. We're going to talk about that. Way easier.
Okay.
Recovery, stamina, your microbiome, your immune system, right?
Yeah.
Urine health, getting an erection,
Yeah.
bowel health.
Yeah.
These are like huge,
Right.
huge things.
Yeah.
If you're having erectile issues, that is cardiac. That's not sex. That's cardiac. That's number one. You need to go get your cholesterol and your blood pressure checked.
Right.
Because that is a direct link. And when I tell that to my clients, they're like, "You're crazy." I'm like, "Test me wrong." They come back, they're like, "Oh my God."
So
I'm
I
like,
should stop taking
clear-
those pills then. Huh?
You do you. But in the meantime, love on your brain
Yeah.
and love on your heart,
Yeah.
right? Because our body is a vehicle. And when the vehicle breaks down, the soul's got no place to live. And how many people die before their time? You have to have a body. You need a body to be here. So
Right.
we can play. There's lots of room for playing.
Repeat
Let's
that
go
one
in
more
this-
time about the erectile. Go ahead. Repeat that one more time. What causes it, you say?
There's a lot of things that cause it. However, what I'm seeing when I ask people, how's your pee flow? How is your erection? Strong, kind of fizzles out, kind of slow to go and look at your cardiac. Go. I'm not saying book an appointment with a cardiologist, but go get
Sure.
a physical. Find out what your cholesterol's like, right?
Yeah.
Find out what your blood pressure's like. If you improve those things, surely you'll get improvements in those areas. I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
I've seen
Well,
it.
it takes blood flow, right?
Right? It takes blood flow. That's
blood
right. Recovery from working out, stamina, your microbiome, anti-aging. These are things we're hearing everywhere. Immune system, parasites, SIBO, candida, fungus. Everybody knows what candida is. 20 years ago, did anyone know what candida was? Nobody. Healing. How do we heal? How do we actually heal? It's a process.
Yeah.
Sugar cravings, food addictions, right? And I wrote down, like with the Juice Plus Company, they say if you focus on the core four, these four things in moderation, we're not going crazy,
Right.
you will have improvements in all of these areas.
Okay.
Now, your body, her body, his body, my body, your body, everybody's body is going to heal different.
Yeah.
And it also has a lot to do with toxins, which is what I wanted to share with you
Yeah,
a little
please.
bit about
We're here to
Why-
glean knowledge, so
why sometimes we work out so hard
Yeah.
and why we're in it so hard and yet nothing
yeah.
happens. So the core four is making sure that we're hydrated.
Okay.
Now, hydration, we're supposed to drink about half of our body weight in ounces. And I don't want all of you to go, tomorrow I'm going to drink 64 ounces. No, you're not. If you don't even drink a glass of water, tomorrow drink 1 glass.
Right. Start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't do anything crazy. Don't do any fad diet or any place where they sell you on health or you got to change everything. Okay, if you're going to get a diagnosis that you're going to die in a month or 6 months, you better get on it.
Sure.
But the rest of us, we have time. Let's ease into this because it's consistency. And you notice when people start at the beginning of the year, I'm going to quit smoking. I'm going to quit drinking. I'm getting a gym membership. I'm going to be a vegetarian. And by like January 3rd, they're releasing so many toxins, right? And they're like wanting a cigarette so bad or smoking pot or what. Let's just write down a bunch of things that we want to improve. Like, I'd like my energy to be better, or I'd like to be more regular.
Yeah.
I'd like to get moving more. And remember that there's 365 days in the year.
Right.
And let's ease into it.
So you would say, I mean, everybody always says this, right? It's a lifestyle change, right?
Smoking.
Right.
You smoke 25 cigarettes? Smoke 24 next month. The next
Start
month,
easing it back, yeah.
smoke 23.
Right.
The next month, smoke 22. By the end of the year, you'll be down to just a few cigarettes. Do you know how easy it is to give up a couple cigarettes? And then the question is this: if smoking 1 or 2 cigarettes, is it really that bad? People have lived to be 100.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's been a lot of people that have smoked and drank their whole life, and
they're still here. So is smoking 2 or 3 cigarettes, start heading in the direction.
Or cigars.
Don't get in the car and drive it like it's stolen.
Yeah.
Start heading in a better direction. And in Juice Plus, we call that one simple change. And for me, it started with getting more fruits and vegetables, because that was something I could do. And I don't want to get into all the Juice Plus products, because there's tons of things. You can go to twilliams.juiceplus.com, or you can reach out to me. You can go online and look. And keep in mind, it's the internet. So you're going to see, I grew a third eye. I got healed.
Right.
Look at the research and always look at the research. So water, eating fruits and vegetables, getting moving, and getting sleep. And people say, well, I only sleep 4 hours. Well, that's your choice. Healing happens when we sleep. Your brain needs sleep. You may not think you need sleep.
Right.
That's my problem.
Because you'll hear Jay Leno, I only need 4 hours of sleep. Well, good luck with that. Like, how long is that going to work for you? And what kind of stresses do you have on your body? Maybe he doesn't have a lot of stress. Maybe he just is in his mansion looking at his cars. Where the rest of us, are juggling kids and work and commuting. That's like something else. We have a lot of things coming at us.
Yeah.
And we need quiet time. And there is a time to sleep. And you do need sleep. And
Camp does it at like an hour at a time, I think.
Yeah, I don't sleep much. I'm busy. I'm sorry.
But you know what? As you focus on different things, because keep in mind, there's a lot of things that we eat and drink that are stimulants. There's a lot of Red Bull drinkers out there.
Nope.
There's a lot of coffee drinkers out there. And I'm not against coffee. I love coffee. Me too.
Coffee.
But there's a lot of things. And stress, too. Having a lot on your mind.
Yeah.
Definitely is a stimulant, right?
Where does this ring?
That is in the treat.
The treat.
I never say cheat.
We talked about that. The treat category.
There is a treat category, and there is a treat category, and we do get treats.
Yeah.
So
I don't drink a lot of water, but I do eat a lot of watermelon.
That's okay. Those things are good for you.
Yeah.
So
Especially because watermelon has lycopene in it, which is very good. It decreases your chances of getting prostate cancer.
Oh, that's good.
So lycopene is very good. It's in tomato paste and watermelon and a bunch of things. So
I eat a lot of watermelon.
nothing wrong with that.
I've met several people that, do you not like water? I'm just asking. I got another buddy that he just hates it. Like, unless he puts like a flavor or something in it, he just hates it.
I have to be
that's insane to me.
outright thirsty to have a glass of water.
Oh man, I cold water. I'm just
No, and it got to be. It can't be cold. It has to be from the faucet, room temperature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
And that's okay. There's lots of fruits and vegetables. You can Google tons of fruits and vegetables. You can Google, I don't like to drink water. So what are great ways for me to get water? There's teas and different kinds of Nutri-Waters and mineral waters.
There's a lot of stuff out there for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, and again, tomorrow you're not going to go for drinking half your body weight in ounces.
No.
You're going to go
Unless I
for...
eat a whole bucket of watermelon, I could do that.
You're going to go to drink one glass of water or have a cup of tea or, play with it.
Yeah.
But again, make it fun, because if it's not fun, you're not going to do it. You're not going to stick with it.
Yeah.
If something tastes good, which you obviously love the taste of watermelon.
Love it. Got some in the refrigerator.
Don't have
right
to
now.
force him to eat something that he loves to eat.
You put salt on it?
Yeah.
I love salt on watermelon.
Yeah.
So good.
I just took a salt shaker from the bar down there, so and brought it home.
You're all set up.
Yeah, I'm all set up. Right on the nightstand.
Ready to go.
It's good. Water helps your brain. Fruits and vegetables help your brain.
Yeah.
Grains, carbohydrates in healthy forms, your brain loves. That's why everyone's like, I love bread and pasta. Of course. Why? Your brain loves it.
Not a big pasta fan, but bread, man. I love bread.
Your brain loves
And
carbohydrates.
it is the worst thing for my body. When I cut carbs out, I can start losing weight, and that's what I have to focus on when I'm dropping weight. But
Monday to Friday.
man, I love some bread.
Monday to Friday, you eat as healthy as you can. You make good choices.
Yeah.
And then on the weekend, there's room.
Yeah.
There's room for bread. There's room for pasta. There's room for a cocktail.
Yeah.
There's room for pizza with friends and barbecue and all of the other delicious kinds of foods that we like. There's a place for everything.
Yeah.
If the majority of the things that we're doing are good for us.
Right.
And again, if you have a severe health crisis, you need to stay focused.
Yeah. Ramp it
For
up
the
a
rest
little
of
bit.
us, focus on getting healthy and then long term staying healthy.
So
Having
how
a
many
balance.
how many people I met a lady at your house recently that I forget her name. I'm sorry. The woman that's been working with you and
Oh, Marley.
Marley, yes. So how many people have you helped like Marley? She's had nothing but
Oh, I
great
don't know,
things
hundreds.
to say and like
Hundreds of people.
you could just kind of get her on that same
Yeah.
path of kind of
Yep.
take it easy, but
I'll
here's the
show you
direction we're
some-
going. And
I brought a couple. I brought some fun, because the proof is in the pudding.
oh yeah, for sure.
Hold on here.
Yeah, we're on the fly. You're very prepared.
I always say if something is challenging, get a buddy.
Yeah.
This was my buddy. She lost 80 pounds.
Oh wow.
And then this was me. And I went from 145 pounds. When I moved to the States, there was foods here that I had never eaten before.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of
Oh,
them
yeah.
was Mexican. In Canada, there's not a lot of
No
Mexican,
Mexican food?
I never had Mexican. We had tacos, but they came from a box.
No, see, I grew up in Nevada and then moved to Arizona when I was 19. It was Mexican food that's where I live.
Everybody, anyone who's on this podcast that's listening, if you're from another country, I met people from Europe that were like, "Oh, the first time I came to United States, I get big weight," and I'm like, "Yeah, me get big weight too," because there's just, when I grew up, there was an A&W and one Chinese restaurant. That was it.
Yeah.
There wasn't like the King and Burger King and the Taco
Right.
Bell
all that
and
crap.
Yeah, I don't eat any. I am a Chipotle, Taco Time, Subway. If I'm gonna go down that road, that's the road I'll
I
go.
like
My-
Chipotle.
Yeah.
I love Chipotle.
My oldest daughter, she's a chef in California, and she has digestive issues all the time. A lot of young women do. A lot of my young women do. She took a vacation to Europe and was eating over there, and she was telling me that, like, she never felt better in her life. And I don't know if that's our FDA. I don't know if that's our process of how we do things here. I don't know, but stuff that she eats here in the States that give her issues that she tries to stay away from, she indulged over there in Europe and had no issues whatsoever.
I try to not point fingers because, I don't particularly believe that anybody at the FDA is like, let's kill everybody.
Not
However, but at the
Sure.
same time, I'm not sure they're really looking.
I think it's a money thing.
Their thing is well, the research shows that in small doses,
Right.
and if you look through the food additives, you'll see, that I was taking a B12 that I'm a lifestyle and weight management consultant. I worked at a naturopathic clinic that specialized in different kinds of supplementation.
Yeah.
So I have a background in supplementation.
Right.
They don't put it on the labels. So seriously.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I listened to Gary Brecka. I had to put a plug out for Gary Brecka. I don't agree on everything, but I like where he's going. I like where his heart is, and I like the fact that he doesn't care if he hurts your feelings. He'll tell you straight up, these things, if you take them, they will hurt you.
Who's Gary Brecka? I'm not
He's
familiar.
just a guy who's
Good
a human
question.
biologist.
Human
He's a
biologist,
human
okay.
biologist. He worked for a company where he could look at your diet, lifestyle, run your testing, and literally to the day tell you if you keep living the way that you're living right now, you're probably going to die this day. And he'll nail you within a week.
Wow.
I'm not kidding you.
That's crazy.
Boxing, the UFC,
Yeah.
he helped him get healthy.
Dana White? Or?
Dana White.
Oh, okay.
He's helped so many people get healthy. And I follow along on I'm not a big supplementation person, but he talks about methylation. And that's something that when you talk about losing weight and why it can be hard, we still haven't gone down that road yet.
Let's go.
And your daughter.
Yeah.
But, these are some of the reasons why people have a hard time getting well.
Yeah.
Because it's a huge process, and people are not talking about your microbiome.
Yeah.
They're not talking about, your biofilm. These are things. This is like, it's your past that where they say, oh, you have your skeletons in the closet. Well, yeah, they're in your biofilm, right? And I used to never know anything about like my biofilm or my microbiome until I got Lyme's.
Okay.
And I got Lyme's really bad. I got down to 101 pounds.
Was it like from a tick? Or?
I got bit by a spider in Eastern Washington.
Really?
And keep in mind, like people say, well, you have to get bit by something. Well, the research kind of shows that anybody can get Lyme's. It's kind of a protein that's in us.
It's an elusive thing, isn't it? I've heard a little bit about it.
It attacks your immune system. It's kind of
There's
in
no
the
cure for
autoimmune.
it, though, I heard.
I got rid of it. I beat its butt.
Okay.
And if it wants to come back and fight me again, I'm ready any day. Bring it on, because I rolled my sleeves up. And that's why I say if you have a challenging thing, I rolled my sleeves up and I got to work.
Okay.
And I had a list of this is what I'm going to do. And I stuck to it consistently. And within 18 months, my Lyme's was gone. I had cocci bracei. It's a very rare
Do you know
form
that
of
is?
Lyme's.
Can't even pronounce it.
I had to go to a
Oh, it's a
special
form
clinic,
of Lyme's.
go to a special clinic to get tested.
Cocci brachii.
I got bit by just a crazy spider. I got a huge bite,
Man.
plate size. I went to the doctors and got it checked.
I didn't think they had spiders like that out here.
Oh, there's a lot of people that have Lyme's from Washington State. They say that there's no Lyme's disease here, but yeah. So then, I did everything. I did, the medicine, and I did all the Lyme's protocol, and, it got worse and worse and worse and worse. And it got down to like 101 pounds. And my naturopath was like, I don't know what to do with you. So I went to a different clinic that specializes in, diseases and helping people heal.
Right.
And so they put me on a machine and they ran all these tests on me, and they came back and they were like, no, you do have Lyme's.
Wow.
And so I was like, well, what are we going to do? And we're like, well, we're actually not going to do anything. What we're going to do is we're going to strengthen your body.
To fight.
We're going to clean up your microbiome.
Okay.
And your body will deal with it.
So your microbiome is what exactly? I mean, I've heard the term, but I can't say that I know exactly what it is.
It's like your cells. It's like it's where our immune system is. It's what protects us. And I wrote this down because
does this have to do with like your what do they call it? Like the bugs, right? The probiotics.
Absolutely. Parasites, our microbiome, biofilm, it protects us. It is a group of cells that kind of function independently. Like your microbiome kind of has its own brain. Mm-hmm. It functions separately. And what I found out was like ropeworms and parasites, which are completely on the rage. Now you're starting to see drug commercials say it. Yeah. And if you have a parasite infection,
you hear that
they
all the
never
time
say
now.
that. Right?
All the time, parasites.
Absolutely.
Everywhere I turn, freaking
we're
parasites.
Full of them. And I had no idea until they tested me, and they were like, we're going to test you for parasites. And I tested hot, like all the bells and whistles went off.
Somebody told me that majority of people have some sort of parasite.
Every bird, cow. But this is the thing. We're supposed to have more good bacteria than bad bacteria.
Right.
And some parasites are not bad for us, and some are.
Right.
And we see plants that have bugs on them that eat other bugs off of them, and they poop and they provide nutrition for the soil, and they have their own little ecosystem, and it works great.
Yeah.
And that plant is healthy.
Right.
But if it gets out of balance, I got out of balance. I got out of balance with stress. I got out of balance with food. I got out of balance with alcohol, sugar. Yeah. I just got out of balance.
Right.
And I wasn't taking great care of myself. And it had a long-term effect. And then I got bit by a bug that caused a huge inflammatory situation in my body, and my body wasn't able to deal with it.
So was that like your major turning point? Was that?
It was my turning point of like, oh my God, I'm really sick. And what happened?
Right.
Like, what happened? And then to go to a clinic and tell them, your body has an incredible ability to heal, Tammy. Like, you can heal from anything. We can all heal from absolutely anything, but we have to be able to be healthy. And why is it that one person gets one condition? Yes, some of it's our DNA and some of it's our constitution, but a lot of it is our diet and our lifestyle. And people say, I don't want to hear that. And I'm like, I didn't want to hear it either, but the science and the research shows that.
Well, and I mean, I know that I feel like crap when I eat a crappy meal, and I feel great when I eat a great meal. I mean, you can't really deny it,
When you're chronically ill, you don't think of your diet. That's the last place I looked.
Okay.
When people have erectile dysfunction, they're not thinking, or they're having trouble getting pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
They don't think.
Do you think there's more people aware of that now, though, with social media and all the trends on like TikTok and Instagram? I see a lot of.
But do they believe it, and are they practicing it?
Well, I don't know.
So this is one of the things that I was telling you about was, why do people have a hard time getting healthy?
Mm-hmm.
Why are they doing a lot of the right things, but they're not getting a lot?
Not seeing results.
They're not seeing a ton of results. Or, I mean, sometimes people think it's going to happen overnight. But due to all of these things like industry, right?
Mm-hmm.
Runoff, drainage, farmland. We already know about artificial sweeteners and colorings and plastics. What I did not know is that plastics mimic hormones.
Really?
So we're seeing now, one of the trends that I was at a wellness event with doctors, one of the things that they were saying is in the next 20 years, so far it's been women.
Mm-hmm.
Women are having a hard time getting pregnant. You go in, the guy gets tested, he's fine. The woman gets tested, their periods are not regular, or their eggs are not strong enough, or the egg won't, bury itself deep enough into the uterus so it comes loose. And I'm not into I've never even had children. So this is not my forte. This is what I'm hearing,
sure.
Fertility doctors say.
Yeah.
Well, now they're noticing plastics. Plastics mimic hormones. They mimic things like estrogen and thyroid.
Okay.
When you speak of plastic, you're talking about just regular plastic.
And I have people that work in the plastic industries, and they say, this plastic doesn't leach this, and that plastic doesn't leach this. I don't know. I just know that foods are cooked in plastics.
Yeah.
Plastics are in our water. I mean, they're just everywhere. We can't get away from them, right?
Yeah.
And the thing of the matter is that our body stores stuff. So
I heard somewhere that I think, maybe you can correct me on this, but like, was that like every month or it's probably every year we ingest like a credit card worth of plastic.
I heard the same thing.
I think it's like every year.
I heard the same thing. It's shocking.
I also heard that they're finding, like when men are deceased, when they pass away, they're finding sediments of plastic in their scrotum. Just chilling.
They're finding plastics in the fish that we're eating.
Yeah.
Like some of the salmon, they cut them open and they have female and male reproductive organs.
What?
I know, it's crazy.
That is crazy.
They say there's islands lengthwise of plastics in our water. Like I try not to go down that deep hole because I'm like, I can't fix the planet.
No.
And I can't control plastics. But what I can let people know is all of this stuff is in us. And it happened over the course of our life, from M&Ms and pop and seriously, grandma's.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember we used to eat the biscuits with what's the big stuff in the big lard?
Oh yeah.
So we have
lard.
All that in us.
We still make tamales at home, and we use lard for that.
There's just things in us,
Yep.
and it is what it is. I ate wieners and drank from the hose, and we ate all kinds of stuff. Like my parents would be in children's aid. They would have taken us away.
We were talking about
Kool-Aid.
that. Yeah, we were talking about that.
Food
Go
coloring.
outside, come home when the streetlights turn on. I don't want to see you.
I mean, in Canada, it was like minus 50 degrees outside.
Oh yeah, no kidding.
And my parents They were
Get a
like,
coat.
You're out. You're out,
Yeah,
right?
get a
Figure
coat.
it out.
Yeah.
So I'm here to tell people that this is, if you don't, I don't want you to go down to Pandora's box, but I'm here to tell people, if you feel great, ta-da, keep doing what you're doing. And every year, do one simple change. Like we do, I have a group on Facebook where we do a 10-day shred every month, where we shred unhealthy lifestyles. And for 10 days, we focus on self-care. So if you are feeling great and you're doing great, keep it up. Keep it up. You don't have to be perfect.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
But keep doing what you're doing and love on the people around you and inspire them and partner up with them if they're having struggles and encourage them. You know, their brain is already beating them down and calling them 1,000 names. You don't have to do that to them. Be the positive light. And encourage them that it's not easy, but I'm going to stick with you, and it's going to take a year or two, and you're going to quit a couple times, 100 times, but I'm going to be here to encourage you to come back.
Yeah.
Because we know that when you set a long-term goal, you're not going to be at it every day for 365 days.
Yeah. Difficult
You're
to do.
going to probably be at it for maybe 200 days.
Yeah.
But those 200 days, you're going to be in it to win it.
Yeah.
If you're sick and you're the functionally ill like I was, where you're like, you don't really have anything going on, you know, but you feel like crap.
Yeah.
Focus on some of these things, the 4 core, right? You know, getting good water, adding more fruits and vegetables to your plate, getting moving.
Yeah.
There's a study that you can find online that shows that even 15 to 45 minutes a day of any kind of exercise. The study said even 3 days a week beat the antidepressant medications.
Really?
100%, hands down. I had a friend, and I won't say her name, but she is bipolar and she was having a lot of problems. She started it. I said, just try it. You have nothing to lose. 3 days a week. Started feeling, after 2 weeks, feeling better. Felt like part of a community. Felt like she, you know, self-esteem went up. Started, we know exercise.
Yeah.
You tend to make better choices. You're tired, so you sleep better.
Yeah.
So just try, not being perfect in these areas, but try to add something. Like maybe on Monday it's going to be like smoothie day, and Tuesday's like I bring my water bottle today, and Wednesday's going to be I take my lunch today, and you know, Thursday will be, you know, Jenny and I'll go for a walk after work or whatever. Yeah. You know.
You and I were talking a little bit about body types, and you were saying that we together, right?
Yeah,
are
we're mesomorphic.
Now, what is that exactly?
Well, there's different body shapes and how different people react to different kinds of foods. Like with my husband, he could eat pasta and sugar all day long.
Right.
And lose 5 pounds, and I could sit on the
those
couch
guys
and
drive me
literally
crazy.
watch him eat it. And people say, no, you couldn't. I'm like, yes, we went to Leavenworth, and I was spot on. I didn't limit my calorie intake.
Right.
But I only ate fruits and vegetables, a little bit of meat, no alcohol, drank water, did not drink a beer. Yeah. I was healthy. I probably got 15,000 steps a day.
Yeah.
And I
Moving
came
around
back
Leavenworth.
and gained 1 pound. And my husband ate everything, the sausage, the sauerkraut, the beer. He went to the chocolate shop.
Oh,
He took pictures of himself in the hat place, like eating fudge. And
They got some good fudge.
Lost 5 pounds from all the walking around.
Right.
Boo.
Yeah.
I hate you. So, you know, but also my husband would have to spend an hour to 90 minutes 7 days a week in the gym.
Right.
And I can go 3 days a week and put on 5 pounds of muscle.
Right.
Like, I'm not a stick girl. I'm not a big girl. I'm not a small girl, but I'm a chunk. Like, I got a lot of muscle and I'm dense. And so again, you know, the different kinds of body shapes.
So you just kind of figure out what body shape you are and play to that a little bit.
I remember Dr. Mitra Ray, who's one of my mentors, she said, Tammy, focus on being healthy. And I'm going to talk about this right now because this picture changed my life.
Okay.
She said, focus on being healthy and getting your brain and your heart, like focus on getting healthy.
Yeah.
And let that figure out how you're supposed to look. Let your brain figure out how you're supposed to look. You know, you might want to think you're a size this or a size that. And yes, we may want to get into that dress, you know, to go to the Dominican or to go to our high school reunion or to see our ex.
Yeah. I don't want to see Hamp in a dress.
We also need to be realistic, you know, and And I'm not saying that your goal is too big or too small, but it has to be a realistic goal and it has to have the right time frame.
Yeah.
You know, when people say, I'm going to lose 10 pounds this month, that's a lofty goal. That's not a normal goal. Now, can you lose 10 pounds in a month? Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. I can drop
But
weight really fast if I
if you
really
are
dedicated.
consistent,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah,
But
can
I don't
shred
want
it
you to
pretty
do
quick.
that. I want you to have a great, healthy life
Right.
and to
Sustainable.
be balanced, right?
Yeah.
And if you live a life like that, like Erica did here, within a year, she just got healthy and lived a healthy life, and she enjoyed some treats.
Yeah.
And she doesn't have a gym membership,
Right.
but she walked with her kids and chased them around, and over time she lost a pound here and a pound there and
Yeah.
a pound there and a pound here. And over the course of over a year, I think a year and maybe a half, she lost 80 pounds.
Wow.
So you're headed in the right direction. And like you were talking about Marley, Marley had said, you know, she didn't put me on a diet. Like I missed bread. She told
Yeah.
you I missed
Yes.
bread, but she told me I could have that on the weekends
Right.
as long as it was, you know, homemade and healthy.
Right.
But we looked at some of the foods that didn't serve her, and instead of taking them out of her diet, we cleaned them up.
Okay. So it's just kind of moving things around a little bit, making sure she's getting what she wants, but also getting what she needs, and everything in moderation kind of a deal.
And so I live by, I get up, I have a shake. I'm lazy in the mornings. I'm lazy. I do not
I'm the
want to
same way.
cook breakfast. If there's egg bites or something in the fridge, I'm happy to open up the fridge and eat leftovers. I'm a leftover girl. I never complain to eat leftovers.
No, I'm a leftover guy.
I
For
love
sure.
them. I'm one of these who are all sniff it. It's 4 days. Do you think it's still okay for me to eat it? I love leftovers.
Oh yeah.
So I usually do a shake in the morning. I do a juice plus shake. After I read the China study, and I looked at all the research around dairy.
Yeah.
And then I had some clients, a couple in mind that had really bad psoriasis, like elbows dry and peeling right to the point where they were bleeding.
Yeah.
Like they were having major skin issues and going to doctors and doing light therapy. And I said to one of my clients, what would happen if maybe you just took dairy, gluten, corn, and soy?
Out of the
Three
diet.
highly, eat everything else.
Yeah.
But take those 3 things out of your diet.
Right.
And she came back in 3 months and lost 20 pounds, and her skin was perfect. And I thought, isn't that interesting? Now, I don't know. Are you going to do that and have the same results? I don't know, but I tested it on somebody else, and guess
Seemed to
what
work.
happened?
Yeah. Well, and you were
Their
talking about
osteoarthritis got better.
2 for 2.
yeah.
So try things. You know, I'm not saying don't go to the doctors. Absolutely. There's a place and a time to go to the doctors, but there's things that we can do too.
Yeah.
So this was the thing that Dr. Mitra Ray said to me, Tammy, quit being a yo-yo dieter.
Right.
Quit counting your calories and missing meals and quitting eating by this time, which I still quit. I try not to eat late because with my body type, I can put on weight if I eat late. I just don't metabolize well in the evenings. That's my constitution.
Gotcha.
You know, now some people need a snack before they go to bed. And
Right.
that's your constitution. So you
I'm a late eater.
Yeah.
And I don't think I put weight on doing that because
Yeah.
that hasn't been a problem for me. But what I do notice is digesting, right? That's the problem. That'll wake me up if you get, you're still
Yeah.
digesting your food and stuff. So yeah. Anyways.
And one of my tips that I bumped into somebody the other day that's like, hey, I want to run something by you. And I'm like, ooh, this is a question I get all the time. I go to bed and I fall asleep, no problem. And about 2 to 4 hours later, I wake up wide awake.
Yeah.
And I can't get back to sleep. And I'm like,
My
I
wife
get
does
that
that.
all the time.
She hates when I come home at night and I wake her up. She's like, I can't go back to sleep. I'm like, okay, I'm about to go to sleep.
Well,
figure it.
you woke her up. That's different. I can't help you with that. But if you drink alcohol or you eat a lot of carbs that turn into sugar or you eat sugar or you snack in the evenings, you're going to go to bed because you're tired. And about 4 hours later, you're going to have a glycemic reaction.
I'm gonna tell
And
her
you're
that.
going to wake up.
Okay.
Now, husband's waking you up. That's a little different.
Sweet and
because
salty popcorn, that's the problem.
But I tell people if you do that, then eat a hard-boiled egg, eat a piece of apple with peanut butter on it. I don't know what your protein is. I don't know if you're vegan, vegetarian. I've been all of them. I'm a flexitarian now. I try to eat really well, and I have wiggle room for fun stuff. And then there's a group of foods I try to stay away from, but I eat occasionally.
Right. And so that helps you. You're saying that egg or whatever will help get you.
Eating a little bit of something that's going to balance out your blood sugar. So I don't promote cheese, but some people will have a hard-boiled egg and a piece of cheese. You know, keep your dairy to a minimum. If you like dairy, I had a girl that was in the other day. She's like, Tammy, all my joints hurt. I've got fibroids. I've got this. I've got that. I've got allergies. I've got skin issues. And I said to her, you know, do you eat a lot of this? She's like, oh, no, I don't eat that. Do you eat a lot of this? No, I don't eat that. I said, dairy? She's like, I'm Mexican. I eat cheese on everything. Like, I love And I said, okay, well, test it.
Yeah.
It's your body.
Yeah.
Test it. Try reducing.
Cheese can have a very inflammatory. Well, dairy as a whole, right? Can be very inflammatory.
You might eat 10 pounds of cheese and be completely fine.
Yeah.
I
The
do.
two guys on the Sargento commercial look completely
I just finished
healthy.
the block before we came in here.
You know, and,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
there's people that are like, if I even lick a piece of cheese, I get diarrhea. And I'm
Right.
like, that's a different constitution. But then the question is this. If you follow along on the core 4 and you clean up your microbiome and you clean up your body, maybe you won't have sensitivities to some of these things. Because I've noticed my sensitivities over the years have gotten better. And some of these foods, like when I was here at your tasting last week,
Yeah.
did I eat your charcuterie board? Yeah.
Right.
Didn't I?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I
for
ate
sure.
it. I didn't eat the little crackers, but I ate everything else. And my husband looked over and said, are you eating a piece of cheese? I said, why, I am, and I'm going to have it with my bourbon. Why not?
Right.
Because if you can work on cleaning your digestion up, cleaning your gut, the manipura, the energy, the fire within you, that what makes you you, if you can clean you up,
Yeah.
you can do amazing things.
I like it.
Right? They
Yeah.
say people can heal. That's what they told me. They said, Tammy, we're going to clean you up on the inside. Your body has an ability, an incredible ability to heal.
Yeah.
And we know we've seen people heal from amazing things that they were never supposed to heal from.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they healed. And so
You do hear about those stories. for
so
sure.
you go, why not me?
Yeah.
Let's try. Let's just, you know, let's not drive it like it's stolen, you know, unless you have to.
Right.
But in the meantime, pick one simple change. Pick something on the core 4 and pick away at it. So this is what Mitra told me. Tammy, stop being a yo-yo dieter.
Okay.
Because you're on the Nexatrim. I took that. Was it Nexatrim or the little one you see
Yeah,
on
it
TV all
is.
the
It's
time?
Nexatrim.
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I took that. I took the caffeine pills. I did the drinks. I did the Slim Fast. I did the Jenny Craig. Now, I'm
the
not
big
saying
one now
none
is
of
the
these
GLP
things
ones.
work.
Everyone's on the GLP.
You know,
1
different
stuff now.
people have tried different things and had great success.
Yeah.
For me, I had great success, and then what happened was I stopped their product and I went back to my old ways. Gained all the weight back.
All right.
So I couldn't seem to hold my weight without constantly like weighing myself
Yeah.
or restrictive.
Yes.
And then, but
I
then,
weigh myself every morning. If I'm on that path
Yeah.
to lose weight, every morning.
But then that affects your mental health.
Yeah.
Because then if you are under, you're great today.
Yeah.
But if you're over and you didn't go to the gym and you ate that slice of pizza, well,
That's
now
true.
you're a piece of,
Yeah.
and you're bad.
Yeah.
And you're not good. And
Right.
that is not true.
Yeah.
We don't define who we are by how we eat or how we go to the gym. We define our character by who we are and how we treat people and how we treat ourselves. I'm not bad if I don't go to the gym, and I'm not bad if I'm overweight, and I'm not bad if I'm a type 2 diabetic. I'm not bad if I've been divorced or I've had an abortion or whatever. You're not bad.
Right.
Those are your choices.
Sure.
But you're not a bad person. But when you get on that scale, that thing is just. My cousin sent me a picture of a scale, and it said, "Until you talk nice to me, you're going to stay in the corner." You know, because the scale is never nice.
Right. Right.
It's mean, and it never says nice things.
yeah.
Oh, well, you're that way now. I wonder if you'll be able to hold it. You know?
Doing good today. We'll see what tomorrow looks like.
Seriously. I mean, look at Oprah's family said, well, Oprah, you come from big people, you're always going to be big. That's what she said.
Right.
You're always going to be big, Oprah.
Yeah.
How is that? Like, that can't feel good.
Sure.
That means, so are you telling me that no matter what I do,
This is it.
this is all that it's ever going to be?
Yeah.
So I tell people, if standing on the scale makes you feel bad,
Don't do it.
don't do it.
That makes sense.
If you do things that make you feel bad, don't do things that make you feel bad anymore.
Yeah.
Because
Sounds
your
easy
life
enough,
is
right?
too short.
I mean,
You know, people are mean enough to us. We don't need to be mean to ourselves.
Yeah.
We
yeah,
don't need to
you
talk
got that
bad
one
to
right.
ourselves.
People are mean.
You know, And on the weekends, we go out to a nice restaurant and eat good food and we enjoy our family and friends and we don't talk bad about ourselves because we're allowed to have treats. And there's a time and a place for all of this stuff.
Yeah.
But this is what made me. And I'm going to talk about this
Okay.
in me.
All right.
So this is when we diet.
Okay.
And this is when we cleanse. And I never really understood cleansing because I thought it was like enemas or colonics.
Yeah. You hear a lot about that.
Or I thought maybe it was dieting. I didn't understand. So I had always lived up here,
Mm-hmm.
you know, for 20 years,
Right.
maybe 25 years. I had lived up here.
Right.
I never went down here. I didn't understand this. But when I finally understood it,
Mm-hmm.
I actually started to cry because I realized what happened. And you said, who said, when did you realize that you hurt
I did.
yourself? Yeah, I realized that this is when I took ownership and it wasn't I cried because I was like, oh my God, the struggle that people go through. Why did it have to be so hard? And why did I not know about this? Why do I have degrees?
Right.
Why do I have a wall of plaques of education?
Mm-hmm.
But I
Didn't
don't,
know that.
I didn't know it.
Yeah.
And knowing this, and Erica sat beside me and the two of us cried. We were like, oh my God. That's what happened.
Okay.
That's what happened.
So
These are dots.
okay.
This person has a lot of dots
I see that. Yeah.
and they're a bigger person.
Okay.
This is a small person,
Mm-hmm.
dots.
Dots. Yeah. Same.
And then this big person,
yeah.
dots. This person has dots.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't lose their weight. They lost their dots.
Okay.
So these dots are food colorings, preservatives. Oh, the bright yellow color in the M&Ms I used to eat. The sugar in this packaged cereals I used to eat when I was going to school because we used to eat on the run.
Yeah.
It was Velveeta cheese and mac and cheese, and I wasn't a big pop eater,
Mm-hmm.
but there was pop, there was food coloring, there was artificial sweeteners,
Yeah.
there was rocket fuel and pus and all kinds of things like plastics, and I was so dirty
Mm-hmm.
on the inside. I just didn't know I was dirty.
Right.
I was filthy.
Yeah.
I had my brain's going, Grand Canyon, Tammy, say it. Say Grand Canyon. I was like, I don't want to say Grand Canyon. I had an excessive amount of dots.
Okay. Which I would guess most people do, right? Unless they're paying attention to it or striving to not.
If you were a healthy body
Mm-hmm.
and you had a toxin in it, where would you store it? Would you store it in your liver? No. Would you store it in your kidneys? No. Would you store it in your brain? No.
Stomach.
Would you store it in your fat?
Yeah.
Seems like a really
Makes
safe
sense.
place to
Yeah.
put it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, what happens if so much toxins are in your fat that it spills out into your blood and now you start getting an autoimmune disease? You start getting toxins in your blood.
There's a lot of autoimmune diseases out there right now.
Right?
A lot.
I'm getting the chills like
Yeah.
down my legs right now because I was like, oh my God, I never once tried to get healthy. I tried to get skinny.
Right. Right. Right.
So that was a choice between being healthy and being skinny, and you chose to.
I didn't even think about being healthy. I thought I was healthy already. I wanted to be skinny.
Right. Right.
When you lose weight, what do you want? You want to look good in your underpants. You want to look sexy. You want to look sexy when you're naked. You're not going, I want to improve my chemistries. I hope my microbiome's healthier. I was thinking, I want to be hot for my lover. Like, I don't want a big butt. I don't want dimples in my legs or saggy boobs or man boobs. Like, come on, let's get real.
Check out these microbiomes.
Exactly. I wanted to look good.
Right.
And it was my driving force. And I was willing to do or drink or swallow or eat or overwork out or stress my body out or literally
To get to that end goal.
damn straight.
Yeah.
And guess what happened? It wasn't sustainable.
Right.
But this is what I didn't know. And this is what rocked my world. These dots were inside of me.
Right.
My body wanted to produce more fat
Okay.
because it needed a safe place to put that. So my brain is driving me to gain more weight. And second of all, these dots, these little buggers, I wasn't going to call them buggers. I was going to call them
You can curse. I don't post this for kids or anything.
fudgesicles. They made me crave that food that put that dots in there. So my body and those dots, they were working against me.
I
They
just
were
kinda
not
had a-
supporting me being healthy. They were making me gain weight again because
I just kind of had a light bulb moment because you were saying a healthy body doesn't want to store these toxins, these things in the liver and the kidneys and the brain and the the heart, whatever. So the body is producing fat to store these things. That makes sense. I understand that.
made me cry. It makes me sad right now.
Yeah.
Like you can see the look on my face.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
of total sadness because
I mean, that's where childhood obesity, and like all that.
imagine these kids have this food in them
Right.
and they want to lose weight
Right.
and their brain and their bodies are working against them.
Yeah.
And how sad is that?
That's, yeah. No, it's a,
It makes me want to cry. That's the only reason why I'm here.
yeah.
Because people are on here going to go, oh, she's not a doctor. She's not a nurse. She doesn't know what she's talking about. Right? They're going to judge me. They're going to say whatever.
I don't know. I love this stuff. And
I did this
I wanted to
diet
put this
and I
out for
did
this
that and it
exact
worked
reason,
and
so.
keto. And well, this is my thing. If what you're doing is working for you,
yeah.
I am thrilled.
Well, and that's what I liked when we
I'm
talked.
not here for those people.
No, you're not pushing anything. Even when you and I talked, you're like, look, find a thing that works for you and do it. But it's the knowledge that you have that I wanted to put down. It's the studies, the things that you've done. And this makes sense to me.
Some of these dots are plastics.
Right.
So you are going to go to your doctor and they're going to say, well, your testosterone's low or your estrogen's low or your progesterone's low or your thyroid's low. And they're going to put you on medication. And guess what? There's not a damn thing wrong with any of those things. Why? Because you have this plastic in your body and your brain goes, these plastics mimic these hormones. And so your brain goes, well, we have lots of that hormone. We don't need to produce that. So it stops producing stuff.
Wow. That makes sense.
And
I didn't know
so
that plastics imitated hormones.
they can cause all kinds of stuff. And I know there's people out there, and if you work in the plastics industry, I'm so sorry. I'm not trying to be, and I know that your industry is trying to clean up, just like my industry. The medical fields killed more people than guns, alcohol, drugs combined.
Sure.
We're the third leading cause of death. They won't tell you that in the CDC, but my industry kills more people.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I know I'm praying and hoping. I mean, I'm so invested in this field. All my eggs are in the basket in this field that we're working on educating people and cleaning up our food and cleaning up our water and cleaning up our planet. And we're trying to teach our kids a better way. And I don't want people on here to have mommy guilt. I'm sure my mom in heaven's going, I gave her Kool-Aid and popsicles and
Oh, yeah.
wieners. And, my mom didn't know. She was doing the best that she could. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But I know something different now.
Yeah.
Science taught me something.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went, I wonder what happens if I apply that. I wonder what would happen. And then I tested it for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt a little bit better. And so when I bumped into somebody and they said, hey, and I said, wow, I read something about that. Now, I don't know if you're going to have the same response, but giving up food coloring, is that so bad? Or
Right.
just enjoying it in moderation?
Right. Right.
There's a lot of things that are not great for us. But once we're cleaned up, this little lady down here, she's still got some dots.
She's got some dots. Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
There's some dots there. So how do we get rid of our dots?
Yes.
That's the question.
That's the question.
Right? Well, all of the things that got us dots
Mm-hmm.
are fat soluble. Why? Well, because they're in our fat.
Okay.
So how do we get rid of fat soluble? So this is when Eric and I leaned in as close as we could and listened to every single word that Dr. Mitra Ray said. She said, change your diet and your lifestyle. Fruits and vegetables and water and sweating and exercise and a bunch of things, they support your body and they will take your fat soluble toxins
Mm-hmm.
and help turn them into water soluble toxins, and you will pee and poop them out. And over time,
The body just sheds it.
the body, under the right conditions. Our body is the soil, right?
Mm-hmm.
If a plant was sick, we wouldn't paint the leaves. We wouldn't say,
Yeah.
Hampton, do you have green paint? Do you have a green Sharpie? Let's just color
Color the
these
leaf
brown
in.
leaves in, right?
No.
Right? We would go to the soil.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of times people would take the plant completely out, ditch the soil,
Mm-hmm.
and put new pot
Yeah.
and new soil
Put
and
the
some
plant
new
back in.
fertilizer
Seen
and
it
some
over
water,
and over and over.
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
But I never once thought about doing that to myself.
Hmm.
I never once thought about my health.
So by moving into what you were saying, if it rots, if you can kill it, if it's
Pick it, kill it, rots,
pick it,
comes
kill
from
it,
the food.
rots.
Eat it.
Yep. That's what you majority of your diet.
I don't weigh things.
Yeah.
I don't avoid things.
Yeah.
There's foods that I eat that I know are good for me. And people say, well, when I eat cauliflower, when I eat cucumbers, I get heartburn. Don't eat cucumbers. There's 40,000 plants.
Right.
If you eat a food and it's mean to you, move on.
Pick what you like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, when you order a steak, people don't cut all the fat off it and leave the meat there,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
They eat the steak.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
want the fat on there, man.
Yeah, but you didn't go there for the fat.
No,
Right.
no.
Right.
Right? It's
Yeah.
the same with our body. We have to clean up our body. We
Yeah.
just need to clean it up. And we don't have to do anything extreme. I'm tired of people doing please don't be mean to your body.
Yeah.
Don't make it do stringent, rigid.
Like even as far as workouts and stuff, you mean? Like what about those CrossFitters out there that are just banging away? My wife was a CrossFitter. She loved it.
Make sure you focus on your recovery. Make
Yeah.
sure you go in there. Think of yourself as an athlete. I'm not an athlete. If you're working out, you're an athlete. If
Yeah.
you're a runner, you're an athlete.
Yeah.
If you are walking every day an hour, you're an athlete.
Okay.
If you're doing yoga, you're an athlete.
Yeah.
So treat yourself respectively like that.
Yeah. Makes sense.
You may miss a meal, but your body's not missing a meal. And trust me, it's not eating the fat off your arse. It's
Yeah.
going for the blood. It's
Okay.
going for the blood. It's going for the muscle. It's going for the meat.
Yeah. 'Cause-
If a
'cause if
human
you're not
died
eating
and
it,
you were going to
that
eat him,
makes
would you
sense.
eat the blood or the fat? No, you go for the muscle. Come on, your body's not stupid.
Yeah.
And not only that, your fat's full of dots. It don't want to eat the dots, right?
Can't
Yeah.
see them, so I don't.
So, right, all these dots.
Yeah.
So it wants muscle. You're missing a meal, but your body's not missing a meal. It never
That makes
misses
sense.
a meal ever. It's
makes
eating
sense.
you.
So what you said you were part of a Facebook group that kind of supports each other?
I do. We do. It's kind and loving. And I'm not saying, I feel like when I say that, it's a fine line between, it's not like, oh, you're okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's encouraging. It's
Is this a group that anybody can join?
anybody can
I mean, it's
join
a
it.
Facebook group, right? So you
It's
just
a
apply
Facebook
to-
group, and I share the Juice Plus lifestyle.
Mhm.
I don't sell things on there.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, do I share Juice Plus? Absolutely. Why? Because you may need help to get started, and
Mm-hmm.
that's an individual thing.
Is there an administrator on there?
pardon me?
They can just join, or they have to do it, be invited by an
You
administrator.
can be invited, but I can add you to any one of you that's on, Facebook.
If you want to
and
put
then
it
they can
out, what
reach
we'll do
out
is
to
we'll
you.
put it on the Stick Lounge
Yeah.
socials as well. And the reason why I
Yeah.
bring it up is if people want to put this into action, right? They want to start doing this. They may need a support group, right?
Absolutely.
And build the community. So it's easy to hear, or listen, or watch this and go, I'm going to do that. but sometimes you need that support system. And
it's
you
nice
might
to
not
have
be
a buddy.
well, and
Like I had Erica.
I would sit and listen to podcasts or get an idea of something, and I'd go to my wife and I'd say, "Hey, check this out," and she'd be like, "I'm not into it." So maybe you need that support group. So that's why I wanted to bring it up.
Yeah, as long as you come on there with it's a lifestyle, which means that the things that we talked about today, we're going to work on it for the rest of our life. It's a lifestyle. This is not a sprint.
Yeah.
This is a marathon. This is our lifestyle. And we have the ability to shape it and change it and add to it over the course of our entire lifestyle. My lifestyle's been continuously changing. When I met my husband, he used to eat pizza, pot pie, and Chinese food, and I used to tell him all the time, there's a long-term payoff for that.
Yeah.
And he used to say, you eat the weeds, baby, and I'll eat the animals that eat the weeds.
You're eating my food.
And then about 8 months after that, he passed a kidney stone.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
And so
Never had one. You ever had one?
No.
I've
it's
never had
not.
one.
It's not good. It's not good. And so he was more open-minded when he went to the doctors. They said, "Yeah, well, you have about a 95% chance of getting in another one." And he turned to me and said, "I would rather you set me on fire and run me over with
I've heard
my
they're
truck."
very painful. Yeah.
Oh, it was horrible.
Yeah.
I stayed with him for 3 days. He wasn't very open-minded to me helping him. And so I put my jacket on and I was leaving, and he's like, "Where are you going?" And I'm like, "You got it figured out, love. Like,
Yeah.
you let me know. I'm going home.
Yeah.
You're going to leave me like this?" Well, I've suggested 4 things that scientifically shows helps pass a kidney stone, and you are not interested in any of them. You are laying in bed taking oxycodone. So I'm out of here, right?
Right.
And then he was like, "No, please, help me." So we got him standing in the upright position, because it's very hard for a kidney stone to leave your body when you're laying flat.
Right.
So stand up, get up. I know it's not easy. Apply heat to your back. Get in the hot shower. Get somebody in there massaging you. Pound the water. Add some cranberry juice, within a few hours. He'd been in pain already for 4 days. So I'm sure it was moving along.
Sure,
It wasn't like we just knocked it out in 4 hours. But within about 4 hours, it passed, and he had immediate relief.
Oh, that's crazy.
And he was like, "What do I have to do?"
That terrifies me.
I try
But keep
not.
in mind, again,
Yeah.
everyone's got different constitution.
Sure. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
So if people want to, and I'm guessing we're at an hour and 25. We try
Lots
to
of
keep
things
it.
to talk about.
Yeah, we try to keep it at an hour, but we've already blown that. So what is there? Is there anything else that you want to cover? The biggest thing I think that I'd like to ask you is if people have questions, they don't need to reach out to you directly, but I'm wondering if people are going to have questions. If they send us questions, can we reach out to you?
And I
or-
can always come back in a month or,
Okay, that'd be
or
good.
something like that.
Yeah.
I want people to, if you get anything from this, I want people to, now again, if you're having a extreme health, you're in a crisis,
Yeah,
that's a different conversation.
for sure.
But for people that are wanting to get healthy, be easy about it.
Yeah.
Be kind. Start talking nicely to your body. Start moving in a healthier direction. Pick one simple change.
Yeah. Well, and that, of all the things that we've talked about so far here, I mean, we've talked to a lot of people about their businesses. We've interviewed Hampton. I think this is important. I do, because every day you see more mental illnesses, you see more obesity, you see more, it really seems like a trend.
2 of my best friends
Yeah.
before the age of 60, they're both dead.
Yeah. My wife passed
My
away at 45.
best friend in the entire world,
Yeah.
someone who I loved, I would have given her years off of my life,
Yeah.
died.
Yeah. And I don't know if anything that happened with my wife was environmental, but
I don't know. But
45
the
years old.
research shows, I went online and I looked at it because I hear people say it all the time, and I actually looked at the study.
Mhm.
And they said, out of the millions of deaths every year, with one change in a diet or lifestyle, 76% of deaths might have been avoided.
really.
So if I have to stand out there and everybody just see me for who I am and test me and pick at me
Sure.
and myth me and
The way that I see it is you're you're trying to do a good thing. You're trying to get a good message out.
I'm trying to inspire people to take better care of yourself. Do not wait until you are sick to do something. If you are not feeling good or you're not loving your body, start making little changes.
Take action. Yeah.
You're going to be here anyway. You might as well enjoy the ride.
Right. No, I agree. Hamp, you got any questions?
No, if somebody wants to find out more about this conversation we had today, on that group you said, can they ask those questions?
You can definitely ask those questions, but know this. Being healthy is way simpler than you think it is.
Sure.
Don't complicate it. Don't get caught up in the myths and the, with the latest trends, and take good care of yourself.
Let me ask you this. The food that I ate, you ate back then was good. Why the change now? Why all the organic and,
Not
Yeah.
all the
You
food
didn't
we
have
ate in the
organic food
past
back in the
was
day.
good, just to let you know. I ate Oscar Mayer wieners and they were raw, and we had Tang, and there was a lot of stuff that we ate
like
that
chicken
wasn't
and collard
good.
greens and stuff like that.
Those are all
you know.
great,
Yeah.
absolutely. But we still have things inside of us. We have those dots that, when you finally get to a point where you have so many dots, things start to shift in your health.
So I think
the
I understand what
health-
you're
Like,
saying.
yeah,
You're,
But
you're
like-
with
saying,
him, some of the foods,
Like
they don't
gluten-
grow anymore.
Like gluten-free, all gluten and
Well, and I think cleaning up your microbiome and sensitivities and, can improve those things.
well, I think I understand what Hamp is saying. Like I I never met anybody that was celiac or had a gluten allergy growing up.
Yeah.
Like that wasn't a
Look
thing.
at the quality of bread now.
Okay,
You
that's
can't
what I think
pronounce-
that's what he's
You
asking.
can't
is-
pronounce any of the words.
Right.
Like my husband's like, I'm going to get this. And I tell him, if you can pronounce it, you can have it. And I'm not monitoring him, but I tell him, if you eat crappy food, it's my responsibility to take care of you.
Yeah.
And I will put you in a home. Like, if you're going to just eat McDonald's and you're going to eat a bunch
Right.
of crap and think
Yeah.
that I'm going to take care of you while you lay into a bed for 20 years, I love you, but you got to be a part of
Yeah.
this.
You
Like,
kind of did this to yourself.
yeah, that's a lot of responsibility for putting your health and future on my shoulders. Like,
Right.
Know that a lot of grocery stores don't carry a lot of the fruits and vegetables we used to eat when we were a kid. Why? Because they rot. They had me come down to the food bank because they were like, a lot of the fresh vegetables and fruit that are down there just sit there and rot because nobody knows how to cook them.
I heard a thing the other day, and it kind of took me a moment for it
They
to
don't
click.
eat them anymore.
Yeah. It took a moment for it to click in my head, but I remember as a kid, bananas had seeds in them. Like there was actually like a seed in a banana, but there's no seeds in bananas anymore because none of them are actually.
I mean, they make tomatoes with no seeds. And
Well,
you
they've been
notice that
cloned so many
anyone
times.
out here that has ever had a garden, or you worked in grandma or grandpa's garden, do you remember all the funky shapes of fruits and vegetables you go into
Oh,
the
yeah.
grocery store?
We have a garden at the house. Yeah.
All the watermelons are exactly the same size, those minis.
Yep.
All those zucchinis are exactly the same size.
Yeah.
Back when I was growing
Genetically
up,
modified.
Oh, yep.
they used to have a
It's
truck
science.
that drives around the neighborhood and watermelon, apples, oranges,
I know.
red to the right. You can get collard green, mustard green off the truck, everything.
Yeah.
It was good and fresh.
Absolutely. But if they drove through your neighborhood today, how many people would run out to buy them?
Yeah.
Probably not because
You have to eat them. Like we used to joke around in college, and we used to call our crisper. When they had the little punch things and you could rename stuff, we called it the rotter.
Yep.
Because we're like, it goes in there fresh, but for some reason it comes out rotten.
Well, even when I do buy all that stuff, I
Get to eat it.
No, I eat it. I do, and I make
Yeah.
it fresh. But it pisses me off that I don't usually get through it, and then I gotta go back and buy it again, which is a stupid problem to have.
One of the things that I tell people, this is my tip. Right towards the end of the week, open up your fridge, haul everything out, clean it up. I don't care if you have like one green onion. I mean, obviously cucumbers are not a great one for this one, but like a green onion or a carrot or a Brussels sprout or a piece of zucchini. We pull mushrooms. There's always a stray mushroom that fell out of
Mushrooms
the
always,
container. Like there's always a few radishes or whatever. Take stuff out of your fridge. I process it, clean it up, put it chop it up into a few pieces, whether it's a potato or whatever. And I throw it in a Ziploc bag. And then over the course of a couple weeks, my husband and I call them freezer meals. So when he comes home, he says, "What's for dinner tonight?" I was like, "Oh, it's a freezer meal. And it's something I pull out of the sky. So I might have one turkey sausage link or a chicken sausage link. I'll cut that up. We'll throw that in the crock pot, with a couple cans of stock or a can of fire roasted tomatoes or, something, the spicy tomatoes. I throw in all my frozen whatever's in that Ziploc bag.
And you're good
I
to
throw
go.
in a handful of, lentils or quinoa, whatever, rice.
So can you? I feel like
I make a freezer meal.
I feel like I
Pot of
bought
soup.
a whole bunch because I love going to the farmers market, especially like Herpanitos when they're down there doing
yeah,
the
I
pumpkin
love
patch
that.
and stuff. It's amazing. I overbuy. I always overbuy because I'm like, this is all so amazing. I'm getting all the fresh produce and the heads of cabbages. And I tried to blanch and vacuum seal and keep those.
It's brilliant.
It didn't work though. Did I just do it wrong? You can do that, right?
I don't even usually blanch them. Like
You just
anything that's
freeze it.
just,
'Cause
I
I-
just throw it in a Ziploc bag. And then I also make bone broth. I'm a real advocate
Yeah,
for
you're
bone
telling me
broth.
about that. Yeah.
And so I always have a Ziploc bag with like a couple hunks of garlic or a piece of ginger or the big stump that's on the end of the celery, that you're like, what do you do with that? I throw that in there and a couple carrots and I just throw them in there and then I just throw them in my slow cooker
Right.
with some,
Let it go for a while.
let
Yeah.
it go for like 3 days. I usually do it Sunday through Wednesday. Every night, I'm drinking off it during the day and then every night I fill it back up and
Yeah.
I let it usually go till Wednesday, and people say, "Oh, bone broth, you need it." The research shows that stock you can make in 24 hours, but bones need a little bit of time to get
Get that marrow out of it.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they need a bit of time. So, and I've heard some people say they'll do it as long as a week. I usually don't do it that long, but be my guest. And
Yeah. Yeah.
they don't throw turmeric in it or, cayenne pepper or, any of those delicious spices. 'Cause
Ham's got
why
all the
not?
spices.
Yeah. So, I think a lot of us, we want to eat better. We want to do better. Sometimes we don't know how to get started.
Yeah.
Find one recipe. Find like a minestrone recipe. It's got a ton of different kinds of fruits and vegetables in it. And one day a week, make a pot of soup. Throw some cabbage in it or throw whatever you want in it.
Right.
And just see what it tastes like. And if it tastes terrible like I do, I put hot sauce in it.
There you go.
You can always throw
Hot
sriracha
sauce
in
good with
something.
everything.
There you go.
Exactly. But just try. You can't screw it up.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't
Awesome.
screw it up when you're trying to take good care of yourself.
I like it. We're at an hour and a half. Hamp, you got anything else?
No, that's good. It was very interesting today. I learned a lot of stuff. Because,
Yeah, me too.
I grew up eating, my food truck says a lot. People come to the food truck and they're like, I said, listen, behind all this graffiti that you see, if you look a little bit deeper, it says FAT. Fat. Everything's deep fried. I got everything that you probably don't want in your body right now. Okay, but it's so good though.
But I will say, you're aside from your fry, your catfish, everything's fresh that you do.
Yeah.
But dude, your jambalaya, your gumbo, your etouffee, all that stuff is like
Plant-based.
Well, and I was saying it's
Grains.
like home cooked meal. I don't feel bad when I come to eat at your place because it ain't getting a hamburger, it ain't getting a pizza. Like, I mean, there's some pretty fresh pizzas out there, but
And keep in mind that even if you go to the same restaurant and ate there 7 days a week,
yeah,
there are a wide variety of different things on the menu where one time having something fried,
yeah,
it's not the end of the world.
no,
Yeah, make a vegan stew that's really good.
your
There's
collard greens,
tons.
your vegan stew.
Absolutely.
greens, yeah.
Absolutely. So I try to tell people moderation, again, we're not looking at eliminating. We're looking at reducing. We're looking at making better choices.
Yeah.
So is there a place for catfish? Absolutely. There's a place for catfish.
Got to be a place catfish.
Yeah,
Right?
in front of me.
Exactly.
Yep.
There's a place. There's a place for all of these. We have to be easy about things. Take
I like
things
that
in
approach.
moderation. Work towards a long-term goal.
Mhm.
We're allowed to have treats. If the majority of what we're doing is good for us, just keep plugging away. Just take it a day at a time.
I like
It's
it.
going to work out.
I like
treat every single day. I have one of these. And it does wonders because I may be hungry and I'll swallow this and I'm good. I'm good for about 3 hours.
So my last question is, how's your blood sugar and your cholesterol? Are you on a healthy trend?
Actually, my cholesterol is really good. You know, I just
Good
had
job.
a bunch of blood work done, and
Good.
my cholesterol was pretty good. You know, it was high a little bit, but then it came down. So she was like, "Oh, that's pretty good." I like,
Good
yeah.
job.
You know,
Him, I don't ever see him like eat a lot, to be honest.
no, I've cooked food all day, and I would not.
Yeah.
You know,
In moderation.
Yeah.
That's where we need to end. Moderation.
Beautiful.
All good things. There's a place for all good things.
Awesome. Well, Tammy, thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you
I
for
feel
having
like we're
me.
going to do this again. And if anybody has any questions for Tammy, feel free to hit us up. I'll get the questions to you. And if you would give us the link for the social media, Facebook stuff, we'll post that as well. And hopefully some people learn some stuff and make some changes. And
Be healthy.
Be
you
healthy.
need a body to be here. Take good care
I
of
like
your
it.
body.
I like it. All right, man. I'm going to play us out.
yeah, get
Thanks,
us out
guys.
of here.
Joe and Hampton, light skin, it's game time. Interview sharp, cut through like a shank line. Stick lounge stories on
Oh, you're fine.
You're good. We just jamming over here. You know?
Yeah.
Warriors capturing life's conflicts, sitting across legends, tales flick like black pics. Drop bars, not mics, knowledge it rains. From the
Oh, yeah.
streets to
No,
the
it is,
beats
but-
and every
Diet.
vein. Stick lounge
you're gonna go
podcast
online
tells
and they're
heavy
gonna
with the
say-
weight. Real lives, gritty stories, never fake. Joe and Hampton, digging deep, no facade, untold narratives. Every